Okay, this is going to be an important topic. We're going to talk about inheritance. So inheritance involves classes, and I'll start off by giving you a visual example of what we're talking about. So I'll create a new event, add a script command. So we're going to create a dog class. Class dog. And then inside here, we will have a method, how many legs, and we'll return 4. Unless it's some special freaky dog. Then we'll have a class called cat, and this will also have how many legs, and we'll return 4. So this is redundancy. We have two classes that basically are the same thing, and so with inheritance, we say, isn't there some way we can boil these two classes down to have one class that has the shared components? And then these classes will simply build upon that other class. So we could say we'll create a class called animal, and in here we can have how many legs. We will return 4. So we will now call this a base class or a parent class. And if we want to make the dog inherit from animal, we say extends animal. Now we can get rid of this. And same with cat. So we still have our separate cat and dog classes, but now that they extend animal, they can both use this how many legs method. So to show you, we can say const dog. This is lowercase, which means we are simply creating a variable here. This is a class, this is a variable. Dog is equal to new dog, just like that, and const cat equals new cat, just like that. And then we will console log dog dot how many legs, and we've seen this. This is just stuff we've done before. This is now an object of the type dog, an object that is built upon the class dog. So we say dog dot how many legs to call this method, and we open and close the brackets to make it run, and we wrap it in console.log to put it into the console. We'll say cat dot how many legs, and let's see what it says. So we talk to the dog. Oh, cannot access. Okay. Cannot access it before its initialization. So the problem there was I'm trying to use animal before it's been created. So animal needs to go at the top, and that should be all good now. There we go. So dog says I've got 4 legs. The cat says I've got 4 legs. So cat and dog are now subclasses or child classes of animal, and they both inherit the properties and methods of animal. So yeah, inheritance allows a class to take on the properties and behaviors of another class. We can write less code and we can write reusable code, and that's just I guess an overarching look at what it is. So let's see what else we can do with this. A subclass can also override a method from the base class. So let's say we have another method that says make sound, and this will just return no sound, because this is just an animal. This is not a specific animal, so it will just return no sound. So let's do that instead. We will say cat make sound and dog make sound. No sound. So both the animals, cat and dog, both make no sound, but that's obviously wrong. So what we can do is override the function or the method. We just say make sound, return bark. So now the dog should say bark and the cat will still say no sound. There we go. So why is that interesting? Why is that important? Well, animal, we didn't overwrite this for every class. This is purely coming from animal. So when dog overrides the make sound to say bark, all of the other classes that inherit from animal will still use the original code. This only affects the class that we add it to. Oh yeah, so what's the point of this? So if I make another one here, make sound, return meow or something, then dog will bark and cat will meow. So what's the point of this? Why can't we just take it out of here, take it out of animal, and only have it in dog and cat? Because those two classes actually use this, but the base class doesn't really use this. Why do we still want it in the base class? Well, if we pull in something we learned before about arrays, an array can hold a lot of lots of different containers of data. So if you have animal 1, animal 2, animal 3, all you need to know is that this is an animal. You don't need to know if it's a cat or a dog, you just need to know it's an animal. And if you know it's an animal, you know it has access to the make sound method. So yeah, if you wanted to use this, you can say my array 0 dot make sound. And what this will do is what is in the first container, so that'll be animal 1, and then you're saying make sound based off of whatever the variable holds. So if you didn't know it was a cat or a dog, maybe it's something else, a badger or donkey. It doesn't matter that you don't know exactly what subclass it is. As long as you know that it's an animal that's in there, you know that you can call the make sound method and it will not give an error because it does have access to that. Whereas if this was, yeah, if you take it out of here and you say class donkey, it doesn't, yeah, well, I guess it extends animal as well, yep. But it doesn't have make sound for whatever reason. Maybe it's a silent donkey. Then if one of these animals happens to be the donkey and you try and call this, it will throw an error. The code will error out and it will crash the game. So yeah, that's the main gist of this. But let's put it into game terms because that's what we're here for. When is inheritance useful? Well, let's say we have a class called item. This is going to be a base class. So what might we have on an item? Well, we could have a name, we could have a price, and you would set this up inside a constructor. So a class constructor, you would set up these properties, name and price. Maybe you have a couple of different methods for getting the name or getting the price on here. Get name, and you would return the name variable, maybe get price, and it will return the price variable. Okay, so this is a base class, and then what else might we have? How else might we break it down? Well, some items are usable, like potions or maybe bombs or something. So then we could say class usable item extends item. So now, every time we create a usable item, we also have a name and a price attached to it. So then in here, we can have maybe effects, which is an array of effects that happen when you use the item. So it can be maybe it heals or maybe it deals damage. And then maybe you can have a true or false boolean of whether or not this item should be consumed when you use it. So if this is a potion, yeah, true. We do want to consume the item when we use it. Maybe this is a book, and every time you use the book, it opens up some pages and you can read. You would set consumed to false because you don't want to use up the book when you use it. So this is great. Now, what else can we have? Well, we might have equipment like weapons or armor. So then we can have a class equip item, which extends item. So equip items, because it extends item, they now have names and prices attached to them. And then this may have a slot. So that could be maybe head, body, or weapon, or shield, or something like that. And so what we've got now, every time we create an equip item, it will have some kind of slot, some name, and some price. But it will not have effects associated with it or whether or not it should be consumed upon use, because we don't use this item. But when we create a usable item, it will not have a slot because it doesn't go anywhere. You just use it. So here is a working example of inheritance, of having some kind of base class with base properties and base functionality, and then building on top of that with other classes or subclasses, and then adding functionality to those for their specific use. So, as always, I hope it's explained well. Leave a comment if there's anything you want me to go a bit more into. But this is inheritance, and maybe in the next video I'll show actual examples from the code here on how inheritance works. I'll see you in the next video.